Sushil Pandit, a Kashmiri activist, now joining us here on this broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. We've seen the reactions that have come to the fore from political parties within Jammu and Kashmir who say that the abrogation in itself is being questioned in the highest court of this country. How can you then go ahead and bring in a bill like this, bring in a law like this?
I think they are economical with truth. Even if it is being challenged in Supreme Court hasn't stayed it. Supreme Court in its wisdom has continued its operability without any hindrance. So long as Supreme Court doesn't strike it down, the validity of whatever the government has done on August 5, 2019 stands. And anything contrary to that is a crime of perjury, which means lying, and it should be prosecutable because this has gone on for too long. They have been using canards to spread disaffection in Kashmir, which has now stabilized. They are trying to provoke people into violence through these unnecessary falsehoods. So this needs to be curbed and condemned. And especially looking at the track record of Mehbooba Mufti, it should not be tolerated at all. And Supreme Court should take cognizance of it. That attributing issues to Supreme Court and then taking that as some kind of a cover in order to speak falsehood publicly. Supreme Court has not stayed any action on 370. Mere hearing or admitting a petition does not mean that it is invalid.
Sure.
And this is basic in law.
Sure, so Mr. Pandit. Yeah, Mr. Pandit, sorry to interrupt you there, but the objection that is also being raised by these political parties is that undue power is being given to the Lieutenant Governor, which is only going to mean that the central government is going to keep pushing its agenda. That's the allegation that they make.
Lieutenant Governor as an institution is constitutionally mandated. And in any union territory, Lieutenant Governor is a bona fide administrator. And powers given to him are necessary for the administration. Being a union territory, Jammu and Kashmir has to be administered by the central government through its home ministry. And Lieutenant Governor is the representative of the central government. So there should be no confusion about it. There are several union territories in India. Jammu Kashmir is not the only one. And each one of those union territories has a central nominee and is empowered to take administrative decisions. So any such law cannot be questioned, and those who are questioning it know it fully well. Yet they continue to keep spreading canards.
So whose motives are ulterior here? That's the real question, and that's the question many within Jammu and Kashmir are also asking. Sushil Pandit, though, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18 and sharing your perspective. That bill has been tabled in Lok Sabha. The discussion was underway. If and when it's passed, it will move to the Rajya Sabha for its assent before it becomes a bill. But we've already seen the kind of reactions that have come to the fore both inside the parliament and outside. Ishan continues to be with us in this broadcast. And Ishan, as far as the situation in Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, the government on multiple occasions over the last 4 years has given statistics to defend its decision of how the abrogation of Article 370 in fact has helped the valley.
Well, absolutely right. Even if you heard the minister saying in the parliament that things have changed on the ground, stock building has come to zero. There have been less number of attacks on the security force, and even the recruitment of the outfits have gone down. That's where the government justifies this move, and also that how the peace and prosperity and development has been done in Jammu and Kashmir, and that is how the government is defending its action. And because of the fact that, like Commissioner pointed out, that there can be one prime minister, there can be one constitution. How can a country have two different constitutions? If you remember the historical perspective, when J&K started merging with India, when the accession happened, Jammu Kashmir used to have a prime minister. So that is where the entire question of Amit Shah comes into play, that when he questions that how can there be two different things. So yes, one has to see that what kind of political reaction does this follow, because the government has adamant that they have been able to bring peace, prosperity in the lives of Jammu and Kashmir, while at the same time opposition has been adamant that what has been achieved one has to see. But on the ground you will notice that a lot of political parties and people saying that there are changes that are visible on the ground in terms of the violence graph has gone down. the government is trying to ensure that working towards peace and prosperity, and whatever is happening in case for the people of Jammu and Kashmir betterment. But yes, opposition is adamant that attacks like Kokarnak, as is pointed out in the parliament, and other attacks as well, where the security forces have lost their lives, including a major captain. That is something where the government is, put into back foot. But one has to see the kind of political reaction to follow on this story.
Absolutely. It is only going to escalate from here on, given now that it is in the parliament as well. But for the moment, Ishan, thank you so much for getting us the latest.